In the Caribbean, all eyes are on Jamaica as the forecast models start to come into better agreement on where potentially we could see landfall. You remember yesterday they were still kind of all over the place. Jamaica, missing Jamaica to the east of Jamaica and to the west. So they have come into a little bit better agreement, and they're in pretty good agreement as we go from today all the way through Wednesday. It's not till after it moves through the Bahamas, southern Bahamas, and near Turks and Caicos do we see it potentially off that little track. So 140 mile per hour wind, central pressures at 953. It's moving to the west now at 3. It's been going between 1 and 5, actually for about 5 days now. It was up to 5 miles an hour earlier this morning. It's now down to 3 miles an hour, and it is expected to continue to intensify. And I mentioned this yesterday that it's now forecast to become the strongest storm to ever hit Jamaica. We got to go back to Hurricane Gilbert back in 1988. Now, Hurricane Gilbert at one point in time was the strongest hurricane ever recorded with a central pressure of 888 and winds at 185 miles an hour. Now, that was surpassed by Wilma in 2005, but it made landfall and it right there, and you kind of see the colors. So it was kind of right there, borderline Cat 4. Officially, I've been reading anywhere between 127 and 130. So again, high-end Cat 3, maybe right there, borderline Cat 4. Then it crossed over the island, continued to intensify, a rapid intensification. This is where the central pressure dropped to 888. Winds at 185, and you can see right there near Cozumel, Cat 5 landfall. Then it moves into the Gulf all the way down to a Cat 2 before back up to a Cat 4 and made landfall again in Mexico. So we had 3 major hurricane landfalls with this one. And then again, it moves its way up and all the way over to the Great Lakes. But that was as a depression and then a remnant low. But again, we're looking at this one becoming stronger. Right now, we have a hurricane warning for Jamaica. We have a hurricane watch for Cuba, which will be upgraded to a hurricane warning. And again, it's just when the time gets closer. The watch is to go ahead and start getting preparations ready. And hurricane watch with a tropical storm warning for portions of Haiti. So, mentioned this yesterday. Remember this time yesterday, this was still a tropical storm. I was talking about this wind shear, and you can see how it continues to creep its way up towards the north. And this was thanks to the low that, the front that was stalled here and pushing its way towards the north. So you can see as we went through all week last week, all the way through Friday, this right here was all the way down towards Jamaica. As it continued to push its way to the north, that means that the wind shear did let up. And that's, of course, what helped it intensify now to a Category 4. So there's the front I'm talking about. It's all the way just to the south of Tampa right now, and it'll move its way a little bit further to the north. And as it does so, as we go Monday into Tuesday, that is what is going to allow Melissa to make that turn. Of course, the water temperatures, still in the mid-80s, still very warm. So Cat 5 landfall projected for Jamaica. So it's going to be right there close. We're looking at the potential to maybe drop to a Cat 4. So Cat 5 is 157 plus. The forecast is between 155 and 160. So again, it looks to be potentially a Category 5 or right there on the borderline. Life-threatening flash flood, landslides all the way through early next week. And again, we're looking at that hurricane watch now for southeast Cuba. So let's take a look at the track. And again, here it is as a Cat 4, expected to become a Category 5 as we go throughout today. So there it is, 160 mile per hour winds as a Category 5. Then it's expected to make that turn, and you can see right there it's still a 5. And expected, there's your 155, but again, this is at 7 a.m. It looks like it could potentially make landfall prior to that. There is, again, your Cat 5 status. And could be, again, as it approaches, typically, especially when you get to mountainous regions, you get that interaction with land that will start to weaken it. It just depends on how much it weakens before it makes landfall, but we're talking about 5 miles an hour we're still talking about a major hurricane. So whether it's categorized as a 5 or a 4, it's still going to bring devastation to the southern part and actually pretty much the entire island due to the wind, the storm surge on the southern part, and of course the rain that they're going to see. Then it moves its way up, and you can see Cuba still is a Category 3 storm. And then it moves its way through the southern Bahamas as a Category 2, and then it heads right towards Bermuda as a Category 1. And unfortunately, Bermuda has had a pretty much a very active season. Everything's come close to Bermuda. So here it is. Again, the spaghetti models are a lot more in agreement, and few of these still miss it to the west, but most of them right smack through Jamaica. And again, this is a fairly accurate forecast model, even with this little bit of a spread. And again, we're waiting that shear again is going to continue to weaken that basically its frontal boundary. As it moves its way up towards the north, that's what's going to allow this to start to make that turn. And then it's going to get picked up and moved up and out. So the forecast models are, again, all in good agreement, unfortunately, on Jamaica. And here's, again, your Euro and your GFS. You really can't see Jamaica in there. There's eastern Cuba, and then up near Turks and Caicos, and then up and out. So again, here is Turks and Caicos right here. So it shows it passing a little bit to the north. And again, unfortunately, Turks and Caicos is worse off than the Bahamas because it's going to be on the east side, what they call the dirty side of the storm, where you get most of the surge and again, most of the rain. So here's your forecasted winds. And again, where this makes landfall, there's your Category 5. And again, right before making landfall, still looks to be a 5. And you can see right there, possibly a 4. So again, dealing with the wind and the rain and the storm surge, pretty much all of it, as you can see, moving its way towards Cuba. There it is in the southern Bahamas. There's Turks and Caicos, and there we go towards Bermuda as we go throughout the end of the week. So one of the biggest things, and we got a live look, and is this one of Jamaica? Because, yeah, let's take a live look quickly at what Jamaica's dealing with. It's already started raining there. Luckily, things are relatively calm now. There's a lot of people that are, of course, still getting prepared. They still have, I would say, pretty much the rest of today, because it looks like it's going to be late Monday into early Tuesday before this makes landfall. And of course, the conditions deteriorate fairly quickly, especially as we go this time tomorrow into about sunset. And that's when, again, we're going to see the potential there. We also have some footage of some rain. And again, it's been raining in the Caribbean just kind of off and on for the past couple of days. We got that VO of the rain there as well. Yeah, I kind of showed this to you yesterday. This was a couple of days ago. Again, it's been raining since then. Already been dealing with flooding in that area and expected to get quite a bit more. So while the storm pushes to the west today and tomorrow it lets up a little bit, but then it makes that turn. You're looking at Dominican Republic and Haiti still getting back in that rain. Same thing for Cuba, the Bahamas, and of course Jamaica, excuse me, where it, again, just started really raining there today, and it is going to be picking up, especially once the storm moves to the south side of it, then makes that turn, because again, you get a little closer to the center, you get a little closer to all that convection there. So let's go back and take a look at your forecasted rainfall, and this is where we're really seeing things build. And you can see there, we do have quite a bit of rain. That yellow, a lot of that yellow is 8 inches plus. We've got the pink there, which includes portions of Haiti, portions of Jamaica, which is plus 15. And then you see the white here, that is into Jamaica and Kingston. You're looking at 25 plus inches of rain there. So again, devastating. We're looking for the potential for landslides because, again, mountainous terrain, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and then as you push your way up through Cuba, you're still looking at 8 plus inches of rain, and even towards Turks and Caicos, you're looking at anywhere from 6 to 8. The only good news, when it goes through Cuba and the southern Bahamas near Turks and Caicos, it is going to start to pick up some speed. Again, what you're looking at, again, the bulk of this rainfall being for Jamaica is because it's moving so slow and it's already started raining. If this thing, once this thing starts to pick up some speed, then we're going to be a little bit better when it comes to it pushing its way up and through and not seeing those rainfall amounts. But again, even when this pushes its way up through Cuba, you're still looking at the rain slowly diminishing in those portions. So again, looking at, unfortunately, devastating landslides, flooding, again, wind. They're looking at all aspects, and this is, I have a feeling this one, of course, is going to end up being retired after this passes through. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to show you a few variations in some of the forecast models. Again, not much of a variation when it comes to Jamaica, but then after that, the models do kind of spread. We'll take a look at that, and then we're going to take a look at our weather after that. So let's take a quick break. Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
Okay, welcome back. Now, we've been talking about, of course, we always show the Euro and the GFS, and one thing that I mentioned really the past couple of days is the GFS has been shifting a little bit. The European model has been very consistent, which is why, again, we rely on that. But again, as I mentioned yesterday, the Euro model only showed this getting up to about a Cat 2. So unfortunately, we know that the intensity forecast for the European model is not as accurate as the GFS has been. So that's why we kind of put these two together. We rely more on the GFS for the winds, and actually GFS I think is a little bit better with rainfall as well. But they're probably pretty close on rainfall. So take a look at your forecasted winds for the GFS, and you see, again, kind of the same scenario. It moves off to the west. Now, again, you remember this has shifted greatly over the course of the past couple of days, where it was actually going through portions of Haiti. See how it kind of sticks out here. It was actually, the forecast track from the GFS on Monday all the way through Friday still showed it going up in this direction right here. Now you see it coming more into line. There it is, making landfall, and again, borderline 4, 5. And then we're going to see it going up through Cuba as a Category 3. There it is through the Bahamas. And now this is where, again, the track could vary. And this is where, again, I mention this all the time, unfortunately, Bermuda, I know it's only going to be a Cat 1 storm, but they have been in the track of many storms this year so far. And it looks like they, unfortunately, could be in the track of another one. Now, if the GFS model was to pan out, moving forward, this is, of course, as you can see, the better side of the storm. Actually, let me zoom in just a little bit, because you see where all the wind is. So there is Bermuda there. So this would actually pan out nicely for them if this one would move its way off to the south and east of Bermuda and then continue to push its way even further. And there we go, out to sea. But again, This model has been shifting. So here is, again, your rainfall. And this one right here is, again, right through Jamaica, not much of really different track than what the European model has. Here it goes up through southern Bahamas. And then again, there it is. Again, here I'll zoom in again. And you can see, really, when it comes to wind and the rain, they're going to get some rain out of this, of course. They'll get a little surge leading up to it. But again, we'll see that pass by and then move its way out to sea. So the shear forecast, again, is really the big difference. It was that stalled front that's up to the north that's starting to lift. The GFS model was showing that lifting quicker, allowing it to make that turn to the north. And now, again, we see it still sitting there. It is moving. That's the front that's going to bring us a few showers later this evening, and again, a few more for tomorrow. But that's lifting, and then as they both come into better agreement on the timing of that lifting, that opens the door for that turn, which again will really be throughout the day tomorrow. And there it is, moving its way up and out. So let's look at the European model. And again, right here, we're looking at the same thing. There it is strengthening. There it is making landfall, just looks like maybe to the west of Kingston, but in Jamaica. There it is making landfall in Cuba. There it is pushing its way through the Bahamas. And kind of the same scenario I just showed you for Bermuda. This is on Turks and Caicos. This is still going to be a Category 3 weakening to a Category 2. So Turks and Caicos will get the storm surge. They're going to get the wind. They're going to get the rain. And it looks like the backside of it. So again, the Bahamas are going to fare a little bit better because of where this track is going. And again, the European and the GFS both agree on this. But this one would be worse news for Bermuda, where GFS is better for Bermuda. Again, let's look at this now. You zoom in for Bermuda, and unfortunately, you see that, again, what we call the dirty side. This is the side with the most wind. So you got to remember, if the circulation, if there's winds that are, say, 100 miles an hour, and by this time it's moving at a forward speed of 20, you add those together. It makes 120 mile an hour winds. So worse winds, you get all of this possible storm surge out of this, and again, a lot of rain. So they look for that potential there as well. So again, we are going to see that. That's what we'll focus on come maybe midweek, when this is exiting Turks and Caicos and Bahamas area, and then moving its way up towards a little bit further up towards the north, and then off towards the east. So again, here it is, same thing with the European model. This one shows it strong, but again, the European model just has not come into agreement with the strength of this. And unfortunately, a lot of models, one thing you've probably heard a lot of probably over the past 5 to 10 years that, if you've been watching the tropics as long as we have, rapid intensification, and most of your forecast models do not do a good job on the rapid intensification. And so it shows it going through Cuba. Again, not much of a track change there. There's your Bahamas, and there it is. There's the cold front. There's giving it a push. And again, if I zoom in on this here, you can see right there where Bermuda is. And again, this is not a good forecast for them. It's all about the timing. And again, unfortunately, this model has been the most accurate on the track. And again, there it is taking its way up and out. And really the same thing when it comes to the wind shear forecast. This one, again, now that all of them come into agreement, the wind shear forecast is about the same. There is that front picking up a little bit, and as it picks up, that's where it allows it to make that turn. And there it is, and you'll see it kind of picking its way up and out, and unfortunately, once again, there is Bermuda. So let's compare, let's put them both on one. And again, you'll see again, the really good agreement all the way up till we get to Jamaica. The timing might be off by a couple of hours for both Jamaica and Cuba. There it is, same exact timing. We're looking at probably a 20 to 30 mile difference as it moves its way past between Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, and there's where it makes that spread. There is Bermuda, unfortunately, right in between. So this is where we hope that the GFS model is a little bit more accurate on that. We're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that cold front that's going to help be our hurricane blocker and what it's going to do for us going into next weekend.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
All right, welcome back. We're going to wrap this up with a look at our local forecast. Again, I've been talking about that cold front helping to keep Melissa away from us, but it is going to really make way for what's going to be a beautiful Halloween and start of next weekend. We got to get through a few showers first. Take a look, live look around, and we're seeing a little bit more cloud cover than what we had this time yesterday. But again, still looking at a pretty nice day. There is from Ascent St. Petersburg looking off towards the east. Again, yesterday it was completely clear. And Clearwater Beach looks pretty good, looks a little bit better, as again, things are looking pretty good for us as we go throughout our midday, close to midday here. Now, there's your beach forecast. As you can see, we do have the potential for a few showers. It's going to be a little later in the day. So again, if you're going to be heading out to the beach, you still have probably a good 4 to 5 hours of some nice looking weather. And then again, a few more clouds and then the potential for a little bit of rain as we're going to top out in the mid 80s. I'd say if you pack up between 3 and 4, you should be good, but looks like some showers coming in around 5. Now, marine forecast. It is breezy out there. Winds out of the east, 15 to 20 knots. Seas at 2 to 5 feet. The bay is choppy. Small craft advisory goes through this evening. And there is the breezy conditions. Winter Haven 17 with a gust of 24. Sarasota 14 with a gust of 22. And this is what we're going to see for the rest of the day. Even Lakeland 16 with a gust of 23. Temperatures right now upper 70s to low 80s across the area. Dew points, there's a lot more 70s out there, and it's going to be going up into tomorrow, as you can see the trend. And that 64 was this morning. 71 is where you're going to start tomorrow morning, and same thing for Tuesday before we get that front. So your forecast for today is a few stray showers this afternoon, but 88 is going to feel more like about 93. So again, you're going to feel that heat for the day today. And again, probably for tomorrow, the temperatures will be a little bit lower over the next couple days, but you see the activity. There's the clouds pushing in, but the trend you see coming in from the east is everything drying up. Not going to be the case a little bit later today, where we'll see a few of those showers making their way across. And again, here is the front. As you can see, there's the stalled front I was talking about here. There's your stalled front, and there is the cold front that I'm tracking. That's going to be for midweek. So there's your European model. There is the front pushing its way up towards the north. This is going to bring us that chance for rain. It continues to push further to the north. And again, there is Melissa. There is the cold front moving across. And again, as we go Thursday, very low chance for rain with this coming through. And you see it's already pushed down to the south as we go throughout Thursday afternoon. Even Thursday morning, it's already down to our south. So we're already going to start to feel good. And then again, there is the front pushing out and, kind of taking Melissa along with it. Not much in terms of moisture with this one, as you can see here. It does go up from today into tomorrow, but it just doesn't equate to much rain, as we could get maybe, I'd say, 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So there's what we have coming in later today. And then again, we have a little bit better chance for tomorrow. Now this model here again shows the same thing. This is our in-house model. There's your better chance as we get closer to sundown. But again, still not a lot of activity there till after sundown. There's your better chance, but then that dries up. And then you see on Monday, we'll see some, there's your mid-afternoon. So there's your better chance. And again, when you look at the 7-day forecast, you see 20%. That is from sun up to sundown. It does go up about 40 to 60% at sundown, probably up to about 11 o'clock. Then that dies down, and then we see it returning tomorrow. There's about a 30% tomorrow. As we go through the evening commute, it'll continue to push on through. But again, the big deal with this one is going to be this, is your dew point forecast. Look at that, going all the way down Friday, Saturday into the 40s. Heat index in the 90s, like I mentioned, the next couple of days. But once that passes, it's going to feel fantastic. Your Halloween forecast is going to be fantastic. Lots of sunshine, mid-70s, by the way, is about 8 to 10 degrees below average. We're supposed to be, of course, in the mid-80s this time of year. And then here's that 7-day forecast. Again, a little breezy today. You got the Bolts taking on the Golden Knights at 5 o'clock. And again, when you're in there, puck drops at 5. From 5 to about 8 o'clock is your best chance of rain. So you'll be inside watching that. And again, there is your Halloween forecast. And so I got